Good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. This is another episode of Live Coding with Maarten van Stam, Office Development. At least that's the goal, to do some office development. But so far I've stuck on what shall I say, on React, UI Fabric, JavaScript, and a whole lot of other things that are related to web development. And apparently, if you want to be a new Office developer, you need to be a web developer. So let's start the show. Almost throwing over my Stream Deck. Let's bring in the screen. So let's see, where were we last time? I think I had a notepad somewhere. Not sure where. To do? Yeah, to do. It was my to-do list. So last time we actually got the application up and running, put it into Git. I even installed Tower for Git. Let's see if I can bring that up. Tower. I'm a little bit sweaty because I have been playing my bass with Rocksmith on the that's a game on Steam where you can play with songs and do some stuff. Let's see with the master branch. And what last time we changed something in the license text. And well, this is Tower. Let's see if we can Hey Fanny, volume is low. Let's bring that up again then. Is that better? Low volume, low volume. Is the overall volume low? Higher and higher. Better? Working copy. Okay. Well, let's move away from Tower. Get into my command. Oh, by the way, by command, that's I believe the terminal is now in preview in the store. Terminal. Look, there you have it, the Windows terminal. And get it for free. It's the preview. And you need to be on 1903, I think. Let's check. 1903, I'm on 1903. And it's installing. There you have a new terminal. Let's see if I can. Oh, you can even scroll, zoom in. Wow, how cool is that? Big. It's a PowerScript. This is nice. Oh, oops. CD my reacted in. Yeah. npm. Let's check how we are on npm packages. npm outdated. the new terminal, you can just put in new items in here. You can even switch between, this is the PowerShell terminal, but you can also switch to command. Now I wonder what happened. Oh, it's still side by side. It's tapped. Look at this. Now I have a command window over here and a PowerShell window over here. And my TypeScript is outdated. npm update. TypeScript, no, update. Let's just update everything. So you have a command window, but you can also put in your own bash window in here. But you can go to the settings, and then it boots up Visual Studio for some reason. Broke back, npm broke back. Now install, yeah. I've seen something with Hanselman where the here you see the key settings for the terminal, but you could also find, I think, here the types of terminal things that you put in. Always shows tabs. Because if you go to the, what is that part of the new Windows build? No, it's in the Windows Store. If you go to your Windows Store, it was released this week, and you find you go do search for terminal. Then I saw yesterday, I think they put in the Windows Terminal preview. And let's see, Google terminal Hanselman. Not that Hanselman is terminal, Hanselman. But I believe he has this nice blog. Open source, May 3rd, just around build. You can see you can create DOS, but PowerShell, Ubuntu, Azure Cloud Shell you can put in there. Profiles. All kinds of interesting stuff. Oh, you can even make it roaming, I believe. This is the Linux stuff for Ubuntu. Go to the session from build. It's online on the let's see, build 2019. There are the sessions. There's a nice session over here about terminal, showing how to do this. See, I'm already drifting off from my program. Terminal. Windows Terminal building a better command line for developers. It's an hour long, and it's explaining all the ins and outs on the terminal. Go and look at that session and put in all the command line stuff like the CLI for Azure and Bash and whatnot, all in one thing. So how cool is that? Okay, let's see how this went. So let's see if it's, I think it should be solved now. Nothing left anymore. Yay, everything's gone. What I wanted to do was, let's do it here. Still used to the old command line. Projects, inject that in, git status. Oh, I changed a little bit. Nothing important, I think. So code dot. Hydrate. So last week I was trying to find out how to put a function in here. So apparently instead of the class you can also have function modules, like let's just do a test. Maybe a new folder. Functions. I'm not sure. Still need to learn how to do the best way to. What's this? Update available for Studio Code. No, later. Why do they always have to do this while I'm casting? New file. My functions. What? Oh. Yeah. T6. I think it's still T6. And then it should be something like a const function name. And then something like this, I think. Maybe something like this. Let's look it up. Function volume. Yeah, that's an old one. Every now and then you hear a plunk. That's my WhatsApp. Function React component. Functional component is just a JavaScript function which accepts props and an argument and returns a React element. So I wonder if it always needs to return something that you need back. Because for instance, if you need to just perform a function, what's this? Go away. Function welcome. Okay. Yeah, this is a named one. Oh yes, that's probably like this. So let's change this function. Welcome. And then no arrow. Oh, the arrow is like the fat arrow. Return div hello function. And as if it's C#, you still have to put in this. And last time I installed this tool for React, but I obviously already forgot about it. What were the shortcuts? Import React component, import React pure component, stateless function component, SFC. What's an SFC? Where's my code? Here. SFC tab. Interface. Okay. Nice. Name. Oh, name. My name. Name props. Okay. So this is. Oh, oops. Something like that. Why do I have all these cursors? Stop. Come on. So this is not the one that I wanted. I just wanted to. But then I need to import React. What's the shortcut for that? Come on. It's not updating my page. Come on. Start page not coming up. Let's open it again. What? Not showing my manual. Come on. Google. Simple React snippets. Function. Class function. Command help mount. Solid states. This one. High order component. Yeah, that's the class. So do I need to put in the imports here? Like stuff like this. No, YouTube. That's the stream that I'm currently running. Copy. And why is this not right? I missed the opening brackets. Props. Props are never used. Why is this red? Never red. So if we put in like in the add-in main, can put in primary button. Let's first see how this looks, because I don't even remember how it looks. Start. This will kick off my word. I can zoom this as well, maybe. Node. got it. Let's wait till the node server is up and running. It put in a certificate to run the add-in within Word. Now it should be up and running. Yeah. The default size for the task pane is not. You cannot specify the default size for the task pane for some reason. I put in a button last time. Create content controls. And the idea was to put in the function for the content controls. Back to this. My function is welcome. Read row, title. This is the button. Create content controls. Put in an extra row. Copy. Let's see if we can put the function in here. Welcome. And that should be from import welcome. From let's see, something like functions. My function. Why is it red? Squiggly. Oh, it has no default export. Okay. So I need to put in what's the terminology for this? Export default welcome, I think. My typing is getting worse by the day. Props not used, yeah. Now it's accepted here, I think. And is it valid here? Yes. Let's see if it's putting in this in the reload. Hello function, yay! So that apparently works. So now basically I want to call this from pressing the button.
Did I lose this chance? One last dance with my shaky
Now we need to find out
I can barely stand. Did I do too much?
how to do this.
Did I push you away? I was in a rush, I'm sorry. And I know that you'll forget.
One click is welcome, maybe.
To face it. Is it over for us now?
React function component on click button.
Did I lose this chance for one last dance with my shaking hands? I can barely ask. We got runaway plans. Baby, where do you wanna go? I'm scared to, but I'll never let go.
Trying to find an optimal way to create event handlers and React stateless components. We can do something like this. Const f props function this case, it puts the button and the on click in the return value. This is interesting because if we put this in like this, rename this to create content controls. C6, and still wonder if this is needed. Still also available. Oh, update imports for move file. Update imports for moved file. Create context. Oh, it's automatic. Yes. Let's do yes. So what my guess is it changed it over here. Yeah, it changed it over here. Smart. But now I want to change this into like const welcome, and now change it into his props, then the fat arrow, and then the return value. Oops. This should be somewhat the same. Why is this squiggly now? Oh yeah, return should now be surrounded with this, I think. Oh. Still not working. Why is this? Come on. Oops. Ah, come on. Apparently this now works. Let's still. Let's see if this still works. Welcome, still working. Genius at work here. Let's reload. Reload. Yeah, there it is. Now, instead of doing this, we want to change it to the button inside the function. So bring this into the function. Button, primary button. Move this away, save, see if this works. There it is. Now, props, might have a props. Hooks reference. Interesting, they use the button primary as well here. But this is the Office UI Fabric, the JavaScript item, I think the CSS-like item. Yeah, making Office add-ins, last of the Mohicans, I think. I'm trying to, but I'm a .NET developer and I crank this out in a couple of hours, usually. But I'm not a web developer, and the Office JavaScript is the new paradigm for the Office add-ins. And so I'm learning now to be a full stack. How come you're using stateless components? Yeah, because I'm learning the React stuff. I'm not only having stateless stuff because, well, in fact there is stateless. There's some state in here. Yeah, but I'm still a bit messing around with the what to put where. As said, I'm a .NET developer and not a React developer. And this is what I'm learning these days. So what I want to do is I have this function. Let's see if I had this function in my script lab item. If I go to script lab, yeah, I love .NET as well, but the Office guys apparently are less .NET minded these days. So I have this code over here. If I go to put some text in here, and this script, if I run this, I wrote some code. It's in the gist on my gist site on GitHub. Yeah, create create and list content controls. So what it does is it's taking the text over here and changes all the paragraphs into content controls and then list it. So if I click on this one, you see everything is now content control. And my next function is to list the content controls. But this UI within the script lab does not allow to make proper UI. So this is only for basically for scripting. The name says it all as script lab. It's just for scripting. And so what I'm now doing is trying to put the information, the functions into my little app that I'm building. So you see here the create content controls, and then you have the looking for the paragraphs. Then for each of the paragraphs it creates a content control, reads a tag, or put a tag in, I should say. And the next one is collecting all the content controls and reading all the tag items and putting them in the list. So nothing spectacular, but for me as a .NET developer, it's hard stuff. But I'm learning. I started with putting some UI fabric controls in. Is it performant enough? I think it is, but still it's kind of limited in what you can do, because your .NET developer, .NET events, I should say .NET controls, like the Visto controls, Visual Studio Tools for Office, they can basically do everything. They can interact with your Excel and your Word and have them interact with each other. But this is only within the own within its own area, the host area of Word in this case. And so that's kind of limited. For that reason, I still don't use it in production for my production items. But my main goal is to just find out what it can do and what you can do with it, and see if everything is implemented already. And apparently it's not. I can spoiler alert. The focus is currently especially on Teams and SharePoint, I think. Like the SharePoint framework, they adopted the same things now, but they extended it to the SharePoint framework. And but let's see if I can get this to work, because now I need something like a function in here, I think. The question is, how do I get this click event with the function? Let's close this again. Put an event in this. Yes, it's TypeScript. I went from going from JavaScript to TypeScript, and then I wanted to make my layout a little bit prettier, so I needed to implement UI Fabric. UI Fabric, however, these days is a React site. If you go to UI Fabric on the interwebs, then you see that they have two versions, limited versions with styles, where you just can style your controls. But if you're using actual controls, then they created the Fabric React items instead of Fabric Core, This is kind of limited, CSS based, but the other one is React based. So I went from JavaScript to TypeScript, now using React, and so I go from one to the other. The scope of what I need to do is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I still don't have this small little function ready to be clicked. At least I have a button now in my control, like this. Only it should do something, and my clock is still not ticking. Hydrate. One thing I would like to do, for instance, is setting this the width of the task pane by default. By default, it's something like this, like very small. So this is too small. It doesn't even cover my title. So if you want to open this, and with .NET you can do this. You can just set the width of the task pane. I recently started working with React, yeah. Yeah, especially, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to find out as well, because I did do some .NET Core stuff already, but then I was thrown into the React part due to the UI fabric, and actually I kind of like it, but it's still very new and fresh for me, so I need to find out what's used how and where. But my first interpretation on this is very nice. Let's see. Call function, React, button. Looks like this, something like this. Action link. Oh, really? It puts a click in another function. So you have the button, and you have where's the active lasers in this case? Activate lasers. Still cannot wrap my mind around classless React. That's exactly that's basically what I need. But this is not needed, no, because I don't have this item in here. But where is this one? Is that another function? Const say something. Does that also need props? I believe function always needs props. You need a function inside welcome. Oh, inside welcome. Okay. Props. like the E. Let's see how this is done here. This is a class function, a class component. This is all within the class. So this function. Here's handle click, here's handle click E. In this case, the writing is a little bit different. Oh, shit. Say something. This one is not needed anymore. So return. Oh, it's just doing something. So what's the prevent default? Yes, E is the props, yeah, indeed. Now I messed things up, I think. I don't have a console, but let's just put this in. It's basically this should be the function. This is something like it, and now it says the E is not used and the props is not used. That's but that's correct. So if I do instead of this, I want to put in the function, and that's interesting because this is an async function. So basically that's something like this, and this should be the E in there. And now it says it's not used. So now move this away. And now say this, copy. Looks like no errors. No, it does. Yeah, it's basically an arrow function. Is basically, I think, the same thing, except for the writing is different. But I think it's the same thing in essence. Let's just see what's going on if I run this inside my Word component in my Word add-in. So now I need to put in some random text again. Or let's make this some lorem this time, just for fun. Kill the last paragraph, load this one again, reload. Now let's see if this works. And it didn't work. Where? Every action that is bound has an event. Not sure what you're saying there. Does it actually break in here? 9. Oh, I don't have a debugger attached, I think. Because is it? I wonder if it's related to the async. Make a test. Yeah, but the alert is not working within the within an Office add-in. That's the sad thing. And if I want to do something like writing a paragraph, then it should also work, but it's not. What I can do is put it in write something to a div maybe. Kind of did that before. If I go to my own add-in, where's Word? Scriptlab, code. Let's close this one for now. Here's the HTML and here's the demo for the output. And we do this in here. In the list content controls, I put something in this one. Let's copy this quickly and go to my main. It's this one. Not sure if that works with React. Copy. No. Yeah, no, there's not really a console as well. Why is this happening? I messed things up now. No. Where's my Word? Over here. Copy. And then go to the other script. Does it work? Primary button is no longer over here. Oops. Darn. This one. Let's see. Let's just put some text in here. I wonder if it has something to do with the async. Oops. Kill this. Back to this. This compile except for the 2 items. Yeah. Class member cannot have const. Okay. Do I have a class with const? No, it's not a class. Yay! Function is called. So now I need to know why this was not working. Word run. I have some other gist just to write some items to the document as well. Save state, insert document, create document, insert content control, insert tag, clear. Where's my test save state? No. Insert document. Insert file, that's too much. I just want to put something in the paragraph. Create document, insert content control. I think maybe this one puts something in the text first. Insert text, yeah, my content control. Let's see what's happening with this. Let's see if we get the brackets right. Looks like I also need to take this in. Copy. So, okay. Word function context. Get selection. Don't need this. Don't need that. I do want to put some text in. Let's skip the edit. Context load will be creating the content control. Sync it. And here you have a console, but the console is in the script lab, so I can't use this. Let's see if it's doing this. They'll reload. Yay! Look at that. I have my content control. This is cool. Now I need to go back to my other code. And let's see what's the difference and why it did fail. Copy. Let's comment it out again. Content controls, word run. Let's see if that's what's the difference over here. In this case, it's running an async function. This should be gone. Code 1 was the same. No properties loaded. Just read paragraphs. Should be able to read this in a debugger. For event tag, even though I do this for everyone, I think. So let's skip the tag. Oh, this clears it, yeah. Let's see if this works. Inner is create. What's the name again? Create content controls. Just output. I think this one is too much. Is it? Something is off with my brackets. Let's see, where's this from? Oh, that's from this one. So this should be indented as well. So let's first see if this works. Go down and comment this all out. Let's see if it puts out this one. This worked, so I can delete this all again. Save. Reload. Create content controls. Yes, the function is called. Now let's see. Put this back in. So let's first uncomment it again. Then move the item back. Gets the paragraph from the document. Let's see how far it comes if I put in this. One. Copy. And that will be 3. I need to find a better way to debug this. First see what's going on here. Reload. Click. Number 3. Oh, and also got the text in there. Huh, what? Click the tab with enter text. Oh, sure. If you notice this, if you have an empty document, and it apparently works. If you have an empty document, you also have an empty paragraph. So if I now put in the create content controls, it actually puts the content control in. So it seems to work. Put in the text, random text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. Now I do this, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 content controls. Yes. How cool is this? So apparently it works. Next, now the next step is that I want to list the content controls in here, and then make this a nice fancy list of the content controls. So I have the create content controls. Now I need the list content controls as well. This can be removed from all of this. This can be removed. Oops. And now I wanted to clear the inner HTML for this. Let's somewhat off because I now put this in. Well, basically I should go and get an control in here that is stating how many paragraphs it found. But that's for later. First, do the same thing. Back up. So this is not user. Let me word paragraphs. Word paragraphs. Yeah, I changed this already by making this a let one. The HTML paragraph also put in the separate one. Copy this. Oh. And move over to this one. Now I got a new one. List content controls. Clear the page, that's already done by the other one. It reads all the content controls from the document. Then it loads the tag item from the content controls. And from there, if there is no one, then it should be saying copy. In that case, just mention that there is no content control in there. Copy. Remove the console because we don't have a console over here. For each my function. In my function that was in the old code was this one. To add it more up to item. So what it does, what it does is writing the index item inside the demo item. But obviously, I want to move this over to some React function that's giving me a nice list with the output for the items, because that was my basic goal, to make a nice formatted layout with UI Fabric. Create a new button. Oh, I should change this. Create content controls. This should be saved, and then copy, paste, and then rename this. Make this a list content controls function. And now from the create content control, I remove the list content control item. And this one, because it's also not needed there. The ID automation is the create button. Create content controls, yes. Why is this still welcome? Because this is welcome. Create content control button. It's a bit strange because this is a function. But anyway, as long as it's working for now, you can optimize later. So this should be that, and make the terminator. Then copy, create content control, that should be a list content control button. And obviously now I need to create another import here, and now there's a obsolete one over here. Go to the list content control button item over here. Export that, and from here we can kill the create function, because that's no longer needed. List content controls, this should be in the button right now. List, this should be list content controls. Hydrate. Let's see. So now we have two functions, one to create, one to list the content controls. Let's see if this actually works. Also need to change the input. This one. Import, I should say. Import it. Control dot. Automatically inserted for me. Nice. Save. Let's see if we can reload this. reload and then kill all of this. Oops. Kill all of this. Now we have 2 buttons. I still wonder why the time is next to the item there. Where is the date? Is this one? And why is this next to the other one? Grid row, there's each in its own row. Did I forget something here? Oh, why is that case sensitive? I think so. I think this should have the capital C. UI fabric. This one is lower. Oh, maybe that's the reason. Because the row is capitalized. Copy. Place all. Done. Save. Will this fix my row items? Yeah, even that works. Now, if I put in some text, is lorem. Maybe I make this a little bit bigger. 10, 5. Now I have 10 paragraphs, I think. Yeah, that's a little bit much. So equals to lorem 5 paragraphs of 3 lines. That's not 3 lines, only the first one. But anyway, I have 5 paragraphs now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. Create content controls. There you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 content controls, and if I'm correct, I should now have tags on it as well. Tag 4, yes. Nice. Still works the same. Let's kill the paragraph items over here. Now let's see if I can list them. There you have it. Ta-da! How cool is this? And now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to make this a little bit nicer formatting. Also, I should say this should be in some sort of a component. Because now I created a function. But instead I could make this a class, maybe, that returns all the things from the content controls in there. So if I now change this over, list content controls, if I make this like the other one, a class, do I need properties? No, I don't need properties, I think. This is the alert clicked. The alert clicked can be removed because alert clicked is not working. As we found out, an Office add-in does not show alerts. So we now have here the header. That's the header, and then we have the item time and date. Then we have the class name that creates the button for the create contact controls. This one presents a button. But I want to have it return another contact control. No, not a contact control, I should say a React component. Can remove my gist again because I was finished with that. This is up and running. And now I want to provide some return information. And no click, passing arguments. In this case, they put the event handler like the E function in the onClick itself. Here you can see that they are equivalent. Lists and keys. React DOM render list items. Oh. Is that what we need? Numbers is numbers. Try this on code pen. Put in numbers on the list. Yeah. Basically, what my pretzel sounds a little bit loud, I think. Put it a little bit down. I want to create a UI fabric list. Go to the controls, I think controls list, items and list. Activity item basic list, maybe. That's a grid. This is a list. rendering ghost items. What's a ghost item? While list is scrolling. Okay. Let's see. Something like this, I think. Show code. We have a list over here. List reference this resolve list. Where's the resolve list in this? It's properties. In this case, it's items, it's property. Example item. Example item is a name string. Okay, so we have an item. UI fabric list example. That's the same thing, but this is the source code. List grid example, that's the same thing. I need something from someone else. Simple layout. This is guy Guzman again. Yeah, I did that. Dialog layout. Yeah, there's a layout. Now I want a list. Flexbox. Yeah, I need to look at the flexbox as well. Is that part of the UI fabric? Sidebar menu, navbar, footer, content. There's the content. I want to put a list in there. There's a list, something like a list. Wrap up. Where's the list? Like this. Items, command bar, selection, items map. Item index. There's a checked item and a name. It's not a special UI fabric item, I think. Is it? Let's see, what's the type of the item? Marquee selection, selection zone, items, they create a div with key, class name, selection item, class name check, span class name item. This is not a special UI fabric item. List example. Something like this maybe. Visit. Meeting notes, my files. Very straightforward to integrate Office UI Fabric into web application. Simply add the JavaScript into the web application. But this is common controls, documentation, color controls, persona card is nice. Why is it coming over here? And it's nothing about nothing about the UI fabric, I think. Oh, oops. There was my VM. Close this, close. Don't use the Office JavaScript ones, but use the React ones, and that's the reason why I started with all of this. Brings us today. Blah blah blah. There's no information in here as well. Come on. How hard can it be? Yeah, just go to this one then. Galleries, pickers, activity item. This is a specific list, details list. There's a lot of information, just a little bit too detailed. Document card, face pile, group list, basic list. Should be a basic list, I think. And why is this a grid? Grid items, I don't want grid items. I want something like this. Or maybe this. So it's a list. Let's say it's a list. Copy. Go back to my function, list control items. And add a list in. Yes, this is not used yet. I'm going to do this something over instead of there's my function over here. Create a nice UI fabric list here. see what's the item, export type, example item. And that's probably on top, yeah. Example item with a name string. This should be content control item, and it has a name. That's a tag. I should say tag, I think. Tag. For item string. They have a list scrolling example. Interface. Copy. Give an array of content control items. I list content control items properties. Let's see. Where is this used? I list scrolling example props. Yeah, let's put in as an input. Copy. So instead of a function, we now going to make this a class. Copy. And do we need a state? This could be, I think we don't need it specifically. And this is the, in this case, this. Private list, example item. Is that name? So the class has an internal content control item. Name of the function is gone now, and now it's killing. Because now the async is not recognized anymore. So what if I move this just out? items. And that needs a constructor. Constructor. Oh. Constructor. Props. That's the properties. I'll scroll example properties. That's this one. That's this one. Copy. Yeah. That should be the base. Super props. You always need to do this. Super props. Props. The state is not used in this case, I think. Then we have the render function. Render. Where's the items coming from? Items. There's the items. That's part of the props. This. Yeah. Render. Same property, basically. Type. Render const item top props. Yeah, there's this, and then we need to return something. Yeah. And in this case, where's the list? There's a list. Copy. And I don't want the reference, just want the items. Let's see how clean we can get this. Page height, render cell. Let's take this all out. Let's see if this is enough. Where's the underscore list field in here? Underscore list. Where's the private list used? Copy. There. Unmount. Scroll to index. Here. Resolve list. Now is the resolve list triggered. Resolve list. Oh, okay. need it. Resolve list, I need to put it in. Where is the resolve list? Here. Is that part of the class? Think so. Example item should be content control item. So resolve list is of an interface. Of this one. So it has a tag in there, and I don't have it. Yeah, I have items in there. So what I should do in here is, when the button is clicked, I should build the list items for the class. Scrollable, no, I don't need it, I think. List, UI, fabric, ref, do I need that? Interface of list, focus button in a detail list, no. Simple app layout. Detail list, no. Don't need a detail list. I just want a normal list in here. Capital L. Yes, actually did find some items. Pretty close. because now if I kill this and put in the paragraphs again and create content controls, that actually works now. And I can, well, now this will probably fail now. Oh, because I did not update it yet. So I can actually list the content control, but now next step is to put them in a UI fabric list. The UI fabric list is not many examples for UI fabric list. So what I did was previously I only did this. I did it for each and then generated the inner HTML. But this is not what I want. I want to do in here, create something like UI fabric list. Let's see. So I created now a new class with a list in it, and that's rendering eventually the UI fabric list. But for this I need to fill a list with this one, with content control items. Resolve lists, list. And the list should be something like property, I think. So my guess is that the list get items, and then the items are resolved in a resolve list. This will put it into the internal, the private list over here, but I'm not sure how to get this filled with something. So this should be commented because it's no longer used. This is merely meant to trigger the function and to build the array. It's somewhat like that. List content control item properties. That's this one. So how does this end up in the properties for this? This is the class that's implemented. So this should be getting the properties for the scrolling sample properties. This one. So let's see where this is used. Copy, paste. Nowhere. This should be used somewhere, I think. is somewhat similar. Content not showing anything here. Content. List ghosting example. This is the class called, I think. Class ghosting example. List ghosting example is one of this. Yeah. So where did it fill the items? Where's the list of items in here? It's from the properties, but where does it get information? And the reason for this is probably because the information is not in here as well. So let's see if this shows something. Google list UI fabric. I don't want the JavaScript one, I want the React one. Here's a list. List. This is the one, that's the documentation. Oh. This looks different if you compare it to this one. I guess it should be the same over here. See, you have the list of 500 grid items and that's not showing into. This is actually showing. List provides a base component. Is that the same as here? Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. But the difference is, over here it's showing code. Ah, this is the full one. Yes. So where did it get a catch then? Where's the list of the cats? There's image. Here. So if I now go to the normal list, I don't want to see 5,000 kittens, come on. This is good for my stream, putting a lot of kittens in. Come on, I don't want all 5,000. Come on, no. Oh, I didn't obviously show the example. I don't do that. Hide example. Hide code. And do the fixed list of 5,000 email tiles. Show example. Yeah, this is something that I want. Except I don't want the checkbox, but it's at least a little bit more compact. Show code. And where's the list from this one? Yeah, there's a lot more, lots more. List, item this prop items. Import list from there, index, mail tile, any public render items, this props, item name, title, description. Yeah, but where does it get the items? Really don't know where it's getting the items. Items is this props items. What does it? Does this one? But where is this one filled then? Just getting it from here. So somewhere outside this function, where this is called. Can I put this in Chrome? And maybe look at the React thing. Develop tools. React. Layer host, yeah. There's one. For example. Basic components. Breadcrumb. It's not what I need. Color picker. Image. Layer. Nav page. Slider. Come on. Must be way easier. List, UI, fabric again. Feeling like I'm going around in circles. Example. group list? No, I don't need a group list. Fabric React paging example. No. Developing with Office UI Fabric. Nice. It's only a little bit old, so it's probably not using the React items, I think. No. I don't want this. Come on, close. Angular? No. See, this is the we're using the JavaScript version, the core. But I want the React version. Prototypes. Let's see how it's done here. Here's the list. Items. Items is this. From state. Is this one. And that's from this one. But where is the call for this one? This one is called copy. Copy. Only two. This is the list. So where is it filled? That's the constructor. That is not filled. Now we need to know where this is used. List test. Okay. Mock data. Okay.
When the downtown lights start to come out at night, we go insane.
And where's the mock data used in this case? Mock data there. Mock data 50. Yeah. Getting somewhere. So if I create just some mock data, In my case, let's put in where's the class? Here's the class. Put in some mock data function in here. Why is it not allowed? Constructor method. Yeah, but the item is not. That's in this case. Contact control item. Contact control item array. And in this case, we have tag. Yeah, like this. Tag, I think. Yeah, tag equals to tag plus I. And why is this not allowed? What was it previously? 0. Oh, sure. Ta-da. Yes, and there's no semicolon. My water is up. Do-do-do. Why is that? Should I take this outside? Oops. Put this out, maybe. Yeah. Damn. So what if I do this? Render. This should be items. List. Where's the list? Here. List items and then 50. Can complete rendering done. Mock data. So why is there? Let's see. Where's my list in here? Here's my list. Instead of doing this, I put in the list items. In this case, should be items equals to, where's the mock data? Function mock data describe. Where's describe? Describe plot This should say something like mock data, copy, oops, copy, paste. How many items? 5. And now, copy, what if I put in just this one? First, let me see if it actually returns something properly. Use the Visual Studio controls, copy, items is missing in type, but required in type read only. Like this. Oops. Property items is missing in type something. List control controls TSX 83. This one. Is missing in type something, but required in the type read only I list content control item props. Must be something related to this. Do I need this? Something like this, for this. Resolve list not needed. Now it should get a mock data item. Primary button is now removed. Password. Reload. Yeah. This won't work. Because now I don't have a button to fill the items. It doesn't matter. We have this control. Now I get a list of these items. Okay, I need to return all of this. It's going to be too much for today. Remove. This back. Scroll mode. Remove the list. And that should be redo. I think it's this one. Save. Let's see if this still works. Reload. List content controls. That still works. Okay. Okay, that's it for today. How long am I in right now? Almost 2 hours and 25 minutes. So next time we will continue with fancying the list. Let's make the content converse my to-do. To-do list. There's the to-do list. So still learning to structure the React components. Build a body component, collect all the content controls. This is done. Copy. Do more research on the grid stack, still open. React hot loader, still need to find out. So basically the only thing that I actually was able to do, I learned a lot more about the structure. So that's a little bit of this. And I used to how to use and implement React components. I'm still not sure how to replace the output by some proper components there. But I will do that next time. So for now, at least, I'm very happy to get the content controls running. So let's save this and close this and close this. And don't need to save this because it's in the code. Close this. What do we have here? Changes. Yeah. Okay. That's new. close all of this. Close this. Close this. I can close the server, running server. GitHub, oh, focus. GitHub status. Yeah, git status. Modified, adding backup, untracked files. Let's see how this looks in Tower. Close this. The new terminal. Tower. Let's see how this is showing changes. Stage all. This is nice. Add a few extra lines and change the capital items in here. The backup. Why is this untracked? Oops. I didn't want to start my Visual Studio Code. What I want to do is commit all of this. Close this. Come on. Stage all. Implemented to create create and list content controls. Push. Let's see. Adding functions to add to create content controls as we've seen before in ScriptLab. Also added function to list content controls. Also seen in ScriptLab. Check my gists. Commit. Now I wonder, can you see it in GitHub as well? My bottle is empty. This one, 5 days ago. insights. I guess it's not pushed yet. Push. So hopefully I didn't mess things up now. Edit, edit, edit. Edit main. Looks like probably did this. Yeah. Go to GitHub. Refresh. Two minutes ago. Last commit this one. Yeah. Content controls. See script lab. Exactly. Good. Nice. All checked in. Let's see if we see the insights. 5 commits. Interesting. Is this someone else? Or this online, maybe? Yeah. Back. June. There's a new one. Okay. That's it for today. Back to main. What we've seen is some restructuring in source code. Meantime, I'm closing some files down. Still need to find out how to implement the UI fabric list in this. I found there are not too many good examples for this, so I need to do some research maybe. And people still in the chat window? No. Okay. So next, yeah, maybe it depends on what's going to happen Thursday. If everyone is still out, then I'm going to code again. Otherwise, we have a regular SDN cast. And but for now, let's close this down. And most likely, I will be back at July the 16th to do another live coding session for office development. And let's close for now and see where we get next week. Then see you next time.